Rumors of unrest arose. Humans were descendants of ancient Clicanians, their earliest ancestors arriving on Earth eons ago. Somehow, knowledge of the humans had been lost in time. So when a plague barreled through, wiping out a devastating number of Clicanian women and setting the planet on a path to extinction, the Clicanians hadn't known to look to Earth for a solution. But they knew now. Humans were a blessing, wrapped in red tape. They were sexually compatible, fertile, and miraculously able to awaken long-dead mating instincts among the lonely Clicanian people. But Earth, a Class 4 planet, was strictly off-limits. No visits or communication allowed. If a ship belonging to an Alliance species was found even near the Milky Way, the offenders could be thrown in jail indefinitely, and their planet could face exile from the enforcing powers of the universe, the Galaxy Supervision Federation. Currently, there were an estimated 100 humans living on Clicania, not enough to save the species from extinction, not by a long shot. They needed access to Earth, which meant Clicania had to convince members of the Intergalactic Alliance, the lawmakers of the universe, to reclassify the human species. The fate of an entire planet rested in what else but politics. And the Alliance representative from Clicania, the person who would need to bring this issue up for discussion, the Queen of Tremantian, had been utterly silent. The Queen had sent Sophia and a group of other humans and Tremantian representatives out on this PR tour, and then, for all intents and purposes, vanished. No communication with the Intergalactic Alliance, no explanation as to why she hadn't broached a case for the reclassification of Earth. Nothing. Sophia couldn't blame the people of Clicania for being upset. How could they not be when a carrot of salvation was dangled before their eyes? Sophia and her traveling companions had been touring for less than a month when tension began infecting their visits. During their scheduled panels in each city, wherein attending Clicanians had been welcome to ask the humans whatever they'd wanted, the questions had grown more and more pointed. Rather than ask about Earth or human customs, they'd asked about the Tremantian Queen. Where was she? Why hadn't she responded to meeting requests from Clicanian leaders around the world? Why wasn't the reclassification of Earth being prioritized or expedited? As the days passed, curiosity had turned into criticism and then anger. Her group had muddled through, sidestepping questions they couldn't answer and working hard to charm those they met out of their worry. But that had all changed when they'd arrived in Vrulatica. A vicious rumor about the Queen had circulated in time with their arrival, and King Sikthand, who'd been vocal in his criticism of the Queen, had snapped. Suddenly, Sophia and her group were no longer valued guests, but hostages, pawns held under lock and key until the Queen broke her silence. Other cities across the planet had taken steps to force the Queen into action as well. Marinta had cut off all trade to Tremantian, as had Tuva, but King Sikthand had taken things a step too far. This wasn't merely a show of strength. This was a slap across the face. Sophia couldn't fathom what the Queen planned to do about it. Fortunately, most of her group had fought their way out and escaped Vrulatica. Unfortunately, Sophia's streak of rotten luck had resurged when she was mere feet away from freedom, and her friends had been forced to leave her behind. Sophia sighed, tipping her head back against her chair. King Sikthand only had one human and one Tremantian guard to negotiate with now. A good thing for her friends and the Queen, a bad thing for her. Would the Queen put up a fight to get one guard and one measly human back? She doubted it. Her gut churned at a sudden thought. Her friends had escaped, right? They'd gotten free of the room they'd been trapped in. She knew that much at least. Sophia had watched each human, guard, and Tremantian representative being lifted through a compartment in the ceiling as she'd clumsily fought the soldiers in the room, keeping them distracted so her group could sneak out. When Heliax, the last Tremantian guard...